Welcome back, everybody, to yet another live stream here on the O'Shea Duke Jackson main channel. I am your host, O'Shea Duke Jackson. I definitely appreciate the people being here. For those of you who were waiting,
O'Shea, you there?
hello. All right, guys. So sorry about that. Seems like I was cut off by my damn self. But let me try to get Tony back on this thing real quick, man. We already, white man held me back. It's Tony. Come back, Tony. You back, Tony?
Oh yeah, I'm back. The white man messed with my
He held
laptop.
me. He held me back, brother. But anyways, we are back here, brother. Sorry about the little early delay, but we want
Nah,
to
we
talk
good.
about how an emotional guy can kill over his ego. We're talking about the Eric Holder situation. I'm here with my man Tony Maceo of powerandstrategy.com. We will not be defeated tonight. Hallelujah. All right. And again, thank you for being here. Make sure that you like the video. Again, we want to introduce Tony Maceo, man. Thank you for coming on tonight, my brother. What's going on with you here?
Nothing much, man. Thank you for having me. It's always, a pleasure to be, here on the hangout with O'Shea, the great O'Shea Duke Jackson, the progenitor of the Negro manosphere. It's always good to be here, man. You know, I'm just happy to be above ground, homie. That's all, man. Just
Man,
trying to
thank
maintain, doing the best I can with what I got.
I know that's right. And again, my brother, I'm glad to have you here because you know what? This topic is really something you've always discussed in great detail on live streams. Man, you've talked about it off the record. But Tony, let's talk about. I mean, you actually have a unique experience because you were a bail bondsman before. Is that right?
That's correct. That's
Let,
correct.
let's talk about that experience and what you learned from people who had different different sorts of ways of life and different towards of criminality and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, right off the bat, you're dealing with situations where where there's trouble involved, where there's drama involved, and when you're dealing with people in the black community, when you're dealing with people in the hood, all kind of shit is going on, all kind of shit is popping off, and it's never a straight line. It's never a straight line. It's always a circle. There's always extenuating circumstances. There's always some shit just around the corner that you always have to calculate in when you're dealing in that world, because it's not that they lie all the time or that they're dishonest all the time. It's that they exist in a world where being honest uh, can make a person extinct. It's dangerous to be honest in that particular culture.
Hmm.
Honesty is relative. So you always have to calculate a certain level of niggardry, in all your dealings. Niggardry comes with the game. So it's not that they lie about everything, they just split the truth. And then it's the thing about understanding their personality,
Hmm.
understanding, their temperaments, knowing who you're dealing with, understanding who you're dealing with, being able to tell, you know, what part of their story is true and what part of it's game. Because again, a lot of times they can't afford to be completely honest, because being honest means, it means destruction. If they tell the truth, it's a rap for 'em.
Mm-hmm.
So it just comes with the territory of knowing who you're dealing with. It's just an experience thing where you learn who you're dealing with. You learn, how to approach them. You learn how to talk to them,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't talk to you can be honest and upfront with them because they expect you to be, but a lot of times you have to watch how you say things. And a lot of times it's not a matter of what you say or how you say it, but who's saying it. So
Uh-huh.
you always have
Uh-huh.
to be cognizant of that too.
Wait. Let's say it again. It's not a matter of
It's
how
not a
you
matter of
say it.
it's not a matter of what you say or how you say it. It's a matter of who's saying it. Okay, because you can tell them, for instance, O'Shea Duke Jackson can go out there and tell them some shit, and they act like it's astrophysics or differential calculus. But if they fellow street niggas saying it, or if an OG is saying it, it's the most profound shit they've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It's a matter of who is saying it to them. It's not a matter of what you're saying or how you're saying it. It's a matter of who's saying it as to whether or not they're going to be receptive of it. There's something in the Samurai Bible, the Hagakure, where it talks about how subordinates should not correct superiors. They're superiors. That superiors should be corrected by their peer groups. And see, people in the street follow that code. They follow that ideology. They don't want to listen to anything coming from someone that's square. They have to hear it coming from another nigga. That's out there doing the same shit they do. So a lot of times you have to put that game or put that wisdom in that dude's ear and let him translate it and let him disseminate it for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about this, right? Because and guys, thank you for being in here. Like the video. Sorry about the mix up we had a little bit earlier. But you've heard about this Nipsey Hussle situation, is that right?
I've heard about it. I've heard some things about it. I'm still out of the loop with respect to certain things, but I've heard some things about it. Yes,
All
I've
right.
heard some things about it.
What did you hear, brother? What did you hear?
I heard that the guy who shot him was a fellow member of his set. I heard it was over some bullshit. I think I heard that Nipsey called him a snitch, or some shit like that, and it was on from there. And I saw the video where he shot him, and he kicked him, and he ran away. So from what I understand, it was over some hood nigga shit, some street shit.
Okay.
You know,
Let me talk about this, right? Let me ask you this, Tony, because Nipsey Hussle did something unique in the fact that he has a lot of money, a lot of success, and stuff like that.
hmm
Why does he come back into the Crenshaw area and do things?
because a lot of times, the niggas that you used to roll with won't let you live that shit down. You understand? So if you were in that past life with them, um, they want that permanent. They want that state of affairs. They want that's like your credit record. That's the street credibility is sort of like your credit record. And if that shit is on your record, especially if that shit is in your rhymes, in order to be authentic or in order to authenticate yourself, you have to have some association with that. So you can't rap about the neighborhood and not have no association with it. And plus, a lot of these niggas are real extra. They'll take that shit to the nth degree, because if you have any type of family still in the hood, they'll fuck with your sister, they'll fuck with your brother, they'll fuck with your mother, all that type of shit, to get that recognition, to get you to recognize and respect them.
Mm-hmm.
They will enact what I call hood nigga rituals.
What are
You know,
hood nigga rituals?
hood nigga rituals is pretty much where they want you to represent. They're expecting you to represent and exemplify everything within the code of that particular neighborhood. You see, so if it's gang culture, they want you to rep. And I've never been a gangster. This is just an observation in dealing with niggas in the street. So it can be applied. It's transferable across geographical regions.
Okay.
But what it is they want you to respect the code of that neighborhood. They want you to respect the code of that particular of the streets of that particular community. So if you're gonna rap about it and you're gonna talk about it, you're gonna make money off of it. To them, it's plastic and it's not authentic if you don't have some association with it. And you got to be careful because a lot of times that shit'll get you extorted. You know. So a lot of times a lot of niggas won't let you live that shit down. Now the OGs, may be somewhat different. They may push you. The real OGs will try to push you out of the game and tell you, hey man, go on ahead, do what you got to do. You're trying to make it out here. I'm not mad at you. Go ahead and stack your paper. Do what you got to do. But a lot of the other niggas, they can't stand you leaving them alone because when you graduate out of the streets and they're still there, they got a problem with that. Because what they're saying is you are essentially their equal. Why you and not them?
Say that again. They missed that, Tony. Hold on. Say that one more time.
They asked the question, why you and not them?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Why not me? I'm just as gutter as you are. I follow the code like you do. We've been through the same experience, nigga. What make you special? You understand?
Mm-hmm. So go ahead.
And that's the type of nigga you're dealing with. It's three types of niggas you can deal with. You got the abstract metaphysical nigga, who thinks of everything in terms of a vacuum. Everything is an abstraction. He doesn't deal with physical reality. Then you got the contrary nigga, the nigga that's just gonna say no just because you said yes, not the contrarian, but the contrary nigga. He just lives to be disruptive because what he's trying to do is enforce his individuality. So if you say left and it's left, he's gonna say right just because you said left. And then you got the third nigga, which this dude Holder falls into. That's the respect my gangster nigga.
So wait, Tony, give me the three again, okay? Respect my gangster nigga, okay? So go ahead.
You got the abstract metaphysical nigga. This is the nigga who you will say, well, it is approximately 4:50 p.m. He's going to say, well, the word for is not linguistically consistent across ethnic and racial lines. Yeah. And furthermore, it is not consistent across dimensions and space-time continuums.
Yeah, that's good. That's George Macon. That's definitely George Macon right there.
Like, nigga, what did you just say?
That's George. Macon. And Moses Jenkins.
You got the other nigga that's going to be a contrary. He's going to say no simply because you said yes. He's the contrary nigga. He don't have a real point. What he's trying to do is affirm his individuality, and he's trying to confirm and affirm his individuality.
That's ABL. That's ABL. That's ABL.
His existence there. He's just unnecessary. He don't even know what the fucking point is about. He's just gonna say no just because.
That's ABL. That's definitely.
And then you got the respect my gangster nigga. The respect my gangster nigga is hypersensitive. He's very emotional. His emotional state is at times like a 3-year-old or 5-year-old child. His emotions turn on a dime. The slightest word says the slightest word said that he takes offense to, he's gonna flip because he's always on the square trying to defend his manhood. Anything that is not in agreement with him, he takes it as a slight. And if it's a slight, he's always on his square and ready to stand up and defend his manhood. So what will happen is that you have to be careful when you talk to him. You have to be careful if you in a discussion with him, because this nigga goes from 0 to Rottweiler in 60 seconds flat. You could say something. Wait a minute, nigga, calm down. Calm down. And that's how he gets down. Everything becomes a battle with him because what he's trying to do is he's trying to escape the stereotype of being, a hyper violent, ignorant thug nigga. So he doesn't want that stereotype, but he's quick to stereotype you though. He doesn't want that stereotype, but he'll stereotype you.
In what way? For example, what do you mean when you say that?
Because he compares everything against the streets. He rationalizes everything in accordance with the code of the streets, the G code, thug life. Everything is rationalized and compared against that. You see? So it's like, okay, he rationalizes everything along the lines of potential combat. that's how he decides. Okay, he doesn't win an argument because he brought a better argument. He won an argument because he can whoop your ass. Yeah. You know? So he rationalized. That's how he rationalizes things.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very, very sensitive. He's always on the lookout for anybody that he thinks is trying to slight him. Any little criticism hurts because he's just that sensitive. There was a book that I read a long time ago by a French psychologist, a psychiatrist by the name of Frantz Fanon. It was called The Wretched of the Earth.
Okay.
And he talks about the psychology of oppressed people. And he talks about how this type of dude, in mainstream society and what can be termed as mainstream society, he's really invisible. He can endure insults there and keep on walking. But if somebody in his class or somebody in his neighborhood or his vicinity says anything greasy to him, he right away, he reaching for his blade, he reaching for his knife, he reaching for his gun,
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is a dude that's very sensitive. You have to really watch him, and you have to really watch how you communicate with him,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
it's only a few ways that you can handle a person like that.
Okay, and we're gonna talk about, because everybody knows somebody like this. We got some people like this in our family, and so let me do this, brother Tony. Let me ask your estimate, because in Black America, I mean, obviously, in in our little small space, we don't really have too many guys that are like that. A lot of guys who were, upperly mobile and educated, pretty usually don't have these problems, but this third guy, because the abstract, metaphysical, and the contrarian guy, I see we see him in all aspects of the Black community, right? But this third one we see in certain pockets.
The respect my gangster nigga, yeah.
Yeah. Now where do we usually find him at?
Oh, he gonna be out on the block. He gonna be out on the block, or he'll be, cruising through the neighborhood. He could be found almost anywhere, at the grocery store. You usually won't find him at the library, but you'll find him, and I know somebody gonna take offense to that, but you usually find him on the block. You'll usually find him around some nigga shit. You may find him, you may actually find him in church, shockingly enough.
No, I agree.
Any place where Black people, working class Black people tend to congregate, that's where you're gonna find him. So this guy is really, he doesn't want to be seen as dumb. He does not want to be seen as ignorant. So he's going to go out his way to flaunt his intelligence in your face, and you'll see it, because he'll keep saying, "Well, I'm very intelligent. I'm very intelligent. I'm very intelligent."
Yeah.
Over and over again. And it's like, okay, nigga, if you're intelligent, okay, you don't have to tell me if you're intelligent.
That's true.
I understand by the depth and the focus and the content of your conversation. You don't have to prove your intellect to me. But he's constantly trying to do that. And he doesn't tend to handle disagreements very well either.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't tend to handle disagreements very well, because what he want to hear is what he want to hear. And if you don't tell him what he want to hear, it's a problem.
Okay.
Again, his emotions are all over the place. He's really like a female.
Mm-hmm.
He's really like a female. And he frequently takes an argument out of context.
Mm-hmm.
He frequently strips it. I mean, it's almost like if you tell a female, you'll say, well, the boy's nose is running, get a tissue there. You saying I'm not a good mother? What are you talking about? You see what I'm saying? That's how the respect my gangster nigga is. That's how he is.
Oh my God. Oh my God. No, that is absolute truth. Let me do a shout out. Shout out to everybody in the building. I see my man D Darrell, Mr. Grandeur. We hear Professor Tony Maceo. 434 people watching. Do me a favor. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell. We here with the professor today. I need 212 brothers to hit that thumbs up sign for me. Hit the like button if you can. And I appreciate you, brothers. Let me go. So get the likes up. Let me go to Nelson Amadeus. Shout out to brother Mr. B, Terrence B, $07. Eric Holder has been dropping trash music online for years with no success. He definitely was jealous of Nipsey's position. R.I.P. Nip. Let's kind of get to that. And I thank you, brother Nelson, for the super chat. Thank you, all you brothers in here tonight. because Tony, we got to give some advice to these brothers. You know what I mean? Because you actually, there's a situation that you have. We ain't gonna call no names, but I had to call and get some life skills from you, from the professor, and he helped me solve that with some of you Negroes out here. But let's talk about a guy like Eric Holder. Some people said he was in and out of mental institutions, but here's a guy that was trying to be a rapper. I don't know, Shitty Cuz was his name or whatever his name was. He's absolutely terrible, whack, no talent at all, right? And
Right.
and so and then obviously him and which I figured him and Nipsey Hussle, they actually in the same gang,
Yeah.
rolling
Yeah.
60s.
Yeah.
Now again, I guess this guy is a snitch, and then Nipsey Hussle, who has this really really nice business. I would say in the wrong location because the way that the business is set up is, there's an alleyway right behind, and anybody can come back and do anything to you, So I don't know if that was the best location to have that store, but so you have this situation where Nipsey Hussle is telling this guy that, hey man, you're a snitch, you don't need to be around here. Now wait a minute, if Nipsey Hussle is not an active gang member, in your opinion, he's a businessman. He's $1 million. He's getting ready to meet with the city of Los Angeles. Why is Nipsey Hussle? Let's look into his mind. Why is he telling somebody like Eric Holder, who's a nobody, that he's a snitch and he don't need to be around his store? What's going on in Nipsey Hussle's mind?
Because he's still affiliated. That's why. He ain't out the game. He's still affiliated. And the thing is, I keep telling you, those niggas don't let you out the game. They don't let you live that shit down. Because 9 times out of 10, those niggas know, they know the dirt you've done. They know where your skeletons are buried. You see what I'm saying? And so they're going to keep dragging that shit up in your face. And plus, again, if that shit is in your lyrics, they're expecting a certain level of authenticity. They set themselves up to be the real nigga police. You understand? So
Mm-hmm.
if you are fraudulent or if you are in any way inauthentic or unauthentic, they're going to check you behind that. Snoop Dogg went through the same situation.
Oh yeah.
Back here about 3-4 years ago. Some nigga was trying to check him and get at him over some bullshit. That could have easily been him, but the dog father moved with a little bit more security and he moved with a little bit more weight than Nipsey did. You see? So when you part of that and you're still affiliated with that, that doesn't go anywhere. Those Negroes are self-entitled. And he knows he also has to be a diplomat. Because again, you got to remember, 9 times out of 10, that here's what they don't do, because we don't understand how the record industry is really cut. Niggas think that because you on TV, you got a lot of money. See, they ain't hip to them 360 deals. And you may say, well, why do I say that? I say that because that's to let you know that 9 times out of 10, they family still living in the neighborhood.
Right.
They family still living in the same neighborhoods, and their fellow set members know where their families live, and they'll kidnap their children. They'll kidnap their family members and hold them for ransom. They'll do all kind of stupid shit just because they feel that they're entitled to that nigga's success. So from his perspective, if he came from that, he knows the mentality of the niggas that he's dealing with, and he still has to exist in that world. Because he didn't get his family up out of South Central Los Angeles. I'd be willing to bet you they still there.
Oh yeah.
So he has to keep that affiliation. It's almost like the CIA. When you get in that shit, you in that shit till you die. There's no getting out. You in that shit, period. So from his perspective, it's authenticity. He's trying to, make himself or keep his authenticity. And the second thing, he's trying to be diplomatic. And a lot of them will also use that to help get their homies out of it. The problem is a lot of their homies are just like Eric Holder in that they ain't got no motherfucking talent.
Oh, we got the professor in the building. Wait. Say it again, Tony. Say it again, Tony.
A lot of times their homies are just like Eric Holder. They don't have any motherfucking talent. So what they do is their homies are trying to get some of that shine off them and trying to get them to do, and they always, here's the thing, they never want to make their homies, anything other than a damn rapper. That's what kills me. it's as though the only job in the music business is being a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to drag their homie off the street,
Mm-hmm.
just because he can rhyme a couple of words or a couple of sentences and stick a microphone in front of him. And then when he goes up in front of the record company execs, and they looking at him like he's stupid, they're like, why did you bring this nigga here? But he's vouching for this nigga, because they want you to help put them down. They looking for you to put them down, to help them get up off the streets. You
Mm-hmm.
become their meal ticket.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand? And
Mm-hmm.
that's the price. Him helping them or him throwing them some shine is the price for the stability and safety and security of his family.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, let's be honest. If you come from that background and you crossing over, yeah, you may know about. See, a lot of times niggas know about expensive things. We know how much shit costs. We know the cost of everything, but the price of nothing. You understand?
What do you
So
mean by what when you say that? Look, break that down for him, brother.
we know how much some expense. We know how much the finer things cost. We could tell you to the dollar how much a Maybach cost. We could tell you to the dollar how much a chinchilla costs. We could tell you what all the shit, all the drippings of success costs. But we can't tell you what that does to us, the price of us getting that. What is the real cost of getting an asset that does not appreciate but depreciates? See, we don't know the true price of things in terms of the consequences, the outcomes. We ain't hip to that, but we know how much it costs, and we know how much it makes us look. We don't understand a lot of times that shit that you buy, if you flaunt it in front of your homies, you're food to them now.
Let
There's
me
a price for that.
let me talk about this too. And you listen, man. You brothers in here, 550 people watching. We got
Like the damn
Tony.
video, nigga.
Like the video, man. This is a senior writer. Listen, this is a still of the draft in 2017. All right, man. He came through max city limits, and then I got him. You know that I gotta let him spit because he a genius. Y'all are getting this breakdown 192 IQ damn near, and you niggas don't appreciate him. See, y'all niggas gonna fuck around and have me just cursing at you because you can't understand this. All right, this is a Negro Manosphere exclusive, and we not getting enough likes. Okay, support the free likes, niggas, because Jesus paid it all. We got some tips for you niggas on how to deal with these niggas too coming in here, but you niggas ain't supporting enough with this free shit. Now like the motherfucking video. All right, now let me talk to you about this. Nipsey Hussle. Now that you broke this down in the way that you did, I also agree because Nipsey Hussle, I made a case that he was still an active gang member, although he's trying to front and say, well, this is just, I'm trying to stop the gang violence and all that, but you still active. Your videos show that you still active. And then also Nipsey Hussle had all his businesses around that area, but he was doing stuff like driving Maybachs and around these niggas in the hood. Like you talked about that being food. Why would he do something like that, knowing the kind of like he has that mindset? He know how these dudes think. He's one of them.
Because
So
he thinks that they won't touch him. He thinks that he has the type of authenticity that will allow him to be left alone. Now, in gang politics and set politics, sometimes a set may have an OG and somebody that they respect, but these new millennial niggas don't respect too much. I have a theory that there's something wrong with every nigga born after 1985, but that's my personal theory. Um, in every set, there's always an OG, somebody that you can arbitrate your differences and disputes with. That's somebody who's listened to. So there'll always be somebody with that kind of clout that done put in the work. He done enough dirt to the point where he's respected. He's universally respected and locally accepted. So now what is happening is this is a guy that they listen to. This is their arbitrator. This is their umpire. This is their referee. So they'll take a grievance to him, and that person will say, okay, well, lay off Nipsey, lay off Snoop, lay off Trade E, lay off Goldie Lowe, because there's a relationship, there's a respect there due to the fact that they have a history. So they can roll around. And then a lot of times what these guys will do, they'll put money back through like football leagues. They'll set up football leagues. They'll donate to football leagues like Pop Warner in Los Angeles, or they'll do other things in the community to where they're homies who are just wise enough to know that it's time for them to grow up and get out the game. So they'll support their transition. So they will be given a card. They get a pass. They will have a pass to do what they want to because their reputation is solid. You understand?
Right.
So they're able to do that to a certain extent. The problem is that the new niggas coming after the OGs don't respect the OGs and they don't respect the code either.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So all they know is they broke. All they know is they don't have money. They're broke and they're struggling. This
Mm-hmm.
nigga got something. I want it. It's mine. Period. Flat out.
Let me talk to you about this because you make a really good point. So Nipsey Hussle thinks that he is
Untouchable.
untouchable, and for the most part, 99% of the time, he's right. It just so happens that they have a de facto guy who has been kind of thrown out of the set. It wasn't like this is a guy that's actively being respected in this neighborhood, right? This is, they're putting him out of this. Now let's talk about this guy. And shout out to Ben Yosef. My smoke detectors just went off. Straight fire. Yeah, thank you for you brothers, man. Appreciating the show. Thank you. We got 600 people in here. If you're here, subscribe to the channel. And then we're going to also talk about Tony Maceo's newest article on the negromanosphere.com dealing with this. We'll talk about that. But let me talk about this. So Eric Holder gets into a confrontation with Nipsey Hussle. And Nipsey Hussle says, yo, man, I don't want you around my store. It probably wasn't in a nice way. It probably wasn't a way that was pejorative and, very demeaning. And it was probably scathing. Probably so much to the point where, because, the guy kicked him. He shot him, came back, shot him again in the head. Yeah. So usually, so he had no remorse. He kicked him after he killed him. What gets a guy to this point, right? To the fact, like, I'm going to go home, get a gun. I'm going to shoot this nigga in broad daylight, kill him. I know that I'm going to get caught and go to jail. Why was it coming from Nipsey Hussle, this type of, get off the block thing? Why was that so scathing to him, in your opinion?
Because, the thing is, you have to understand, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound kind of fucked up,
okay,
but a lot of these niggas are not known for forward thinking. They don't think about the consequences. They live in the moment.
Right.
You understand? They live in the moment. So he isn't thinking that far ahead. What he's thinking about, again, it goes back to his reputation, his dignity, his ego, his manhood. You understand? He didn't give a fuck about the consequences. This is a nigga that's stupid and militant in his stupidity. Because we got a lot of niggas out there like that. They're stupid and they're militant in their stupidity. That's the negative part about gang culture. Sometimes a sucker slips in here and there, to and fro. Every nigga in a set is not thorough. You understand? So you in a situation to where this dude, again, he's very emotional. He's hypersensitive. Everything is an assault or an affront upon his manhood, and he got to check that. The consequences be damned. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. He don't give a shit about that. He don't give a shit about the consequences. He don't care about the consequences because, real talk, a lot of times these niggas ain't got no future. They ain't got no future anyway. They got nothing to look forward to. So, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I'm back, brother. The white man was holding me back. Let's talk about this situation with this show should show us problems are mostly internal. Let me kind of get.
I'd be willing to bet you that nigga got a record. Again, he don't have no future. He ain't got no future.
Right.
He don't have any talent. He don't have a future. 9 times out of 10, he already got a record.
Right.
You understand? So, really, what has he got to lose? It's all or nothing.
Exactly.
So, again, everything is about this moment. It's about his manhood. Respect his gangster. That's what it's all. Respect my gangster. And see, they take that word snitch in that culture, in the street culture, they take that word snitch They take that shit serious.
Right.
That's almost as bad as calling one of them a bitch ass nigga. Because when you start calling them, using those terms, bitch ass nigga, you call them snitch. What you've done is you just declared war.
Mm-hmm.
You see.
Let
So
me.
in his eyes, his
Mhm.
manhood or his ego was under assault, and he had to do something about that.
Okay, let me do this. Let me shout out some people. I see MOT in here, one of the OGs of the manosphere. Maurice, this shows to show us our problems are mostly internal. Thank you, brothers, for supporting Marty Collins. I'm a lawyer in the hood. I would love to talk to you. I lurk, see this every day. Thank you, brother Marty Collins. Reg, the bad guy, $4. What's up, big Reg? Uncle Reg in the building. Let me talk about this, right? And guys, we're gonna do another show right after this. Get the likes up, brothers. If you're here, you want to really help us do something. Hey, Doctor, Great Black Shark, get the likes up. I need 200 people to like the video. It's for free. So just come in, like the video if you can. Let me ask you this. Let's talk about Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
Being a little bit too overconfident.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that I can check this nigga. I got 2 or 3 of my niggas over there. And then this nigga pretty much Nipsey must have thought this dude was a bitch or no threat, because if he didn't think that the dude was a bitch, he probably would have had something waiting on him or whatever. But
It
he
would have
thought
some heat on it.
right. So he thought the nigga was a was no threat. Let's talk about that. How should have Nipsey may have handled it? Because if he was going to talk about the dude was a snitch and all of that, is there a way he could have went about it?
In the first place, if he moving, he should have always had some security. If you're gonna live, I'm just keeping it real. If you're gonna have a store in the hood and you're gonna have that type of affiliation, Pac and Biggie showed us one thing: security is invaluable. You need security in the hood. Think about this: we put the Secret Service around the president. Why? Because he has value. Any head of state, any premier or head of state or president or whatever the case may be, those people will always have their Secret Service. They will always have protection. Why? Because those people have value. This man was a Grammy nominated rapper, had a business in the hood, was an entrepreneur. He's selling albums for $100 a pop, and
Right,
Jay-Z is buying them. You see
right,
what I'm
right,
saying? So this dude had value. He had value, but in that culture, again, that's the nigga rituals. Because in that culture, if you have security, you're a sucker.
right,
If you do anything that any normal person would do, you know that denotes or labels you as being soft or weak or
right,
lame or
right,
bitch made.
right,
You understand? And that's the weakness of that whole lifestyle. They start trying to represent reality to the point where they twist it and it's no longer real anymore.
mm-hmm.
There's a misperception of reality. They start living that code to the point where they realize that code is bullshit. It's ridiculous. It's illusory. So he didn't think he could be touched. So he didn't think he needed a bodyguard.
Right,
He thought that his set was strong enough to protect him. No, nobody's immune to a nigga running up on him, putting two in him and dipping. Nobody's
right,
immune to that.
right,
You understand? So what he was trying to do, I know what it was. He was overconfident. He was trying to slide off of his credibility. But
right,
to a nigga like that ain't got no tomorrow, he don't give a fuck about your credibility.
right. And not only did he not give a fuck about his credibility, he didn't give a fuck about the situation he was going to leave his family members in. His mom, his auntie. He didn't care about none of that.
Well, if anything now, in a sick, perverse way, the nigga is infamous now.
Yeah.
Because what will happen is he'll become the nigga that shot. This is how thirsty we are for fame. We worship at this cult of celebrity. This is how thirsty we are to be known. We will be another nigga's killer just to get a reputation. This is how thirsty we are for fame and attention. Now, I'd be very surprised if he survives his incarceration.
I
I'd be very
thought
surprised,
about that. I
because if he
thought
goes to
about
prison,
that.
they're gonna hit him.
Oh yeah,
If he
he's
goes,
done.
yeah, he's done. But he'll be known. He'll have this. He'll his name will go down in infamy. He'll have a degree of notoriety because he killed Nipsey Hussle.
Mm-hmm. Let me say this also. Damn, I forgot about that. Um, when it comes to Nipsey Hussle in the situation, some people are gonna say a guy like Nipsey Hussle, this is a great example of why you shouldn't do things in black communities, and I'm in Africa right now, right? I'm
Right.
dealing with I deal with a lot of incompetence in Africa, like a motherfucker, right? Like so much shit don't be working. Um, some mosquitoes biting the shit out you.
Mhm.
You might have to watch your pockets and shit like that. But I definitely feel more safe here, even in Poland, and they hate niggas in Poland. I feel way more safe there than I
Mhm.
do in my own black communities. Now, people like Nipsey,
I understand that.
who who comes back and
Mhm.
wants to do something nice, things I can't take it away from him because I'm a big black community guy, and he is actually the pinnacle. I mean, despite he kind of lived a little bit of a life that was hypocritical to some people could say, but he did have a lot of things going on. Man, the brother had this the co-working space, and he had the new STEM thing going. I mean, the brother was getting a lot of stuff done, and he was definitely a builder. I think if he wouldn't have been over there as much, he probably could have did a lot more. But what about I did a show with Anthony Bryan Logan, and he was saying, hey, move out the hood, and if you're gonna do anything for the ghetto, do it by right, like Dr. King Meadows, do it by writing a check, okay, or do it from afar. Don't do it on the ground because these situations happen. What do you think about that when you hear people with that narrative and that talking point?
I can't actually believe I'm saying this, but I actually agree with him. You know, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So I can't believe this, but I actually agree with him. I think if you're gonna do that, be a philanthropist. I think philanthropy. That's we need more
Hold on one
philanthropy.
second. Let me do this real quick. BDSYBSM. So Africa is a continent full of incompetent Negroes. Hey, bitch, I said there is a lot of incompetence here. Where did you see me say the all? See, hold on a second. You are a dumb motherfucker. Hold on, wait. What will we have? We have the abstract metaphysical nigga, two, the contrarian nigga, three, the respect my gangster nigga, and we have a fourth category, the dumb, incompetent, can't under comprehend ass nigga. You incoherence. I mean, where did you get? Stop the show, Tony. Where the fuck did you get that from? You are a dumb motherfucking nigga. How did you do that? Where? This is why you not gonna make it in life, nigga. There's no fucking way in the motherfucking real life you could have took that shit at me saying a lot as saying all. You are a dumb piece of shit. You are a stupid motherfucker. This is what time him out. I don't have time for you dumbass niggas coming on my motherfucking shit. You are you know what? You are a dumb motherfucker. Just stupid as a motherfucker. Just dumb. I hope you're not African American. Please. We need to get you up out the race, brother, because you are a stupid motherfucker. If you ever bring your stupid ass over here again with that bullshit, I'm banning. You got one more time, you dumb motherfucker. Don't you ever in your life come on here talking about I said all. A lot, motherfucker. Yeah. You. How can you make it in life when you can't even fucking comprehend? Just away from niggas. The white folks don't want your stupid ass nigga. You dumb. If you can't understand regular elementary sentences and phrases and shit, nigga, where the fuck you going with the white man? Nigga, he ain't gonna want your stupid ass, nigga. You dumb. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, you
Go
could.
ahead.
You could. Well,
Stupid nigga.
you can always use a nigga like that to destroy somebody that is doing something. He got his
Yeah.
goddamn.
Yeah.
See,
Had that nigga
they
somewhere
get
out there clean up dog shit. Go ahead.
yeah, they'll do that, or they'll use a nigga like that to knock off somebody that is doing something. Because that's one thing that I saw a lot of, when I looked at, because I did the research on COINTELPRO, and they use niggas like that to come in and be compulsive disruptors. Just come in and be contrary, just come in, just start some shit just to create a bunch of disunity. Nothing can ever get done with a nigga like that in your circle. You see, so they function as as plants, and they function as arms of the system. If you really look at it, they're just there. Or again, they're just counterproductive niggas. It's like Colonel Stinkmeaner from the Boondocks. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of nigga you're dealing with.
You're just a stupid motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hold on a second. Is that the real Sonetter? That ain't the real Sonetter. Hold on a second. Man, that is Sonetter. Hold on. That's my man Side Netter. What up, Side Netter? I thought that was a fake Side Netter. Hold on, man. That's my brother Side Netter in the building, man. Side Netter, what's up, man? That's the great Side Netter, the legendary Side Netter. All right, y'all pay homage to my man. Listen, all right. It wasn't nobody doing the shit Side Netter was doing, man, on 125th. He was the first nigga out there, first brother out there, man, out there on the street with the microphones, man. You know what I mean? Doing it before anybody was doing it, man. Side Netter is a motherfucking trendsetter. I don't care what you niggas say. Side Netter started this shit, okay, out there on the streets. All right. So I got shout out to my brother, man. When we see him, you gotta respect this. You gotta respect him. You know what I mean? So salute to my brother Side Netter, man. I'm out here in Africa trying to do something similar to what you've been doing. All right, we gonna holler, brother. So Side Netter is in the. I thought it was a fake Side Netter page, but hold on one second. So brother, thank you for being here. And shout out to brother Dynasty Amir for the Ugandan Chicken Fund. Lemon Kelly, you throw a life ring into a panicking, drowning person from safe place. Never jump in, try to have them. They will drown you too. Peace out, brother. We got the pro-black community here. I see. Search for who. Let me ask you this. Why do you agree with ABL that having the businesses in the community, you know, like that, you agree with him? Why?
Because you can have a business in the community, but I would do it as a philanthropist. I would have somebody else run it. I would actually have a white person there because he's probably safer than a nigga.
Oh, why do you say that, brother? Why do you say that?
Because black niggas, they intuitively understand that the penalty is far stiffer for fucking up a white person than it is fucking up a black one. They know what that is. They don't have to be told that. They understand that.
Stop right there. I want you to go in deep on this, brother. Because I was talking to George earlier today. Now it's funny. Nipsey Hussle get killed, and black people is quick to go and shoot up his family house, something like that. You know, they retaliating real quick. But when Trayvon Martin get killed, or you know, when one of these white folks kill a black person, what happens?
Niggas are scared of the consequences that come from dealing with white people, or fucking up white people. They'll punch one or two of them in the face on the subway. They'll do some shit like that, but they ain't gonna do nothing serious. You understand? George Clooney is safer in South Central Los Angeles than Nipsey Hussle is. George Clooney can run a shop there, no problem. Nipsey Hussle can.
Back to your point. Let's talk about this, because I made the arguments that, you know, the Asians, the Indians, the Chinese, whatever, Koreans, some of them have been shot and killed and stuff like that. They come back and they set up businesses in these communities, and it's no problem. You know, the black people, you know, hey, it might not be televised, but we do some shit in their stores too.
Well, you gotta understand, when Habib comes in the neighborhood, when Habib is there, Habib, there may be a bit of cultural naivety to him. He don't understand how shit works, but 2 weeks in the hood, that shit changes. He got cameras in his stores. He got the police on speed dial. He got him something sitting under the register. So, you know, they always come prepared. If push come to shove, they come strapped. And then the other minorities, they're smart enough to build relationships with certain people in the community to insulate them from a lot of niggatry. They do that too. So in other words, if they have, like, you may have a bum in the community or drunk, they know to let him have a couple of packs, a couple of single loose cigarettes, or give him a little bit of liquor, or give him some leftover chicken wings, or let him sweep the store, do something else, and give him a little money, because that translates as credibility, because he'll become the gatekeeper. He becomes that first line of defense between them and the rest of the niggatry that's in the community. It's a certain type of politics that go with it. They will give a certain amount of shit to niggas for free in exchange for that a little bit of protection and insulation. It don't always work, but it allows them to hang around there. You know, and plus, again, when they call, the police are coming when they call. They may not come as fast when you call, but when they call, they coming, because essentially police protect property, not lives, unfortunately.
Say it again.
The police protect property, not lives, unfortunately.
Whoa.
That's their main focus.
Okay. Let me do this real quick, because you know, Dynasty disagreed with you, brother, when you said having a white person in South Central instead of a black person. That kind of talk could be considered a little coonish. But I will say this.
I mean, it is what it is. He can disagree. We don't have to always agree. I'm
Right,
just
right.
telling you. I got a PhD in niggas. I can tell you what they're gonna do tomorrow. So
I know
that
that's right.
that's his thing. Of course, I understand he's a Pan Africanist, and he wants to promote Pan Africanism, and I agree with him. I want to promote Pan African, but you can't promote a Pan Africanism amongst a bunch of niggas that's sick. You understand?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let me talk to you about this, brother. And I know that's for a fact. Even in, I mean, if you think it's bad in America, even in Africa, I will tell you, man. You'll get your heart broke traveling amongst Africa, being black. I mean, as African American, out of this is my second or third. Well, Poland is I'm living in Poland, right? But when you come to Africa, man, you gonna find out real quick that you talk about cooning. Lord have mercy. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I mean, if I'm a coon, Marcus Garvey's a coon because he said the same thing. He said the same thing about how black merchants ill treat black businessmen and black entrepreneurs. He said the same thing, how they lay for you, how they rob you, how they slander you and curse you. He said the same thing. So I didn't make any analysis that's different than anything that the father of modern Pan-Africanism said.
Mm-hmm,
You know.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, we everybody got a right to disagree. So let him disagree.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna read out the super chats for you, brothers. Again, I thank you so much. We're gonna ask the conspiracy theory questions, and then we're gonna go over some tips, brothers, because we know that some of you guys are. I heard a brother has a law firm there in these communities. So when you come across these respect my gangster type dudes, YouTube, if you come across one of them, it's easy. You can just turn the channel off. But what do you do in real life situations, and how to not underestimate people? But let me do this. I want to get the likes up here. If we can get 209 people to like the video, I appreciate you, brother Kenny Conjo. All the people that super chatted on this show today, thank you so much. I really, really thank you for being here. Let me get to this, brother Tony. A lot of people say, and I agree with Obsidian on this. Niggas love conspiracy theories.
Yes.
Well, he was want to release a video about Dr. Sebi and the agents had him killed. Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm gonna take my video down of my support from Dr. Umar Johnson for the school, because even Dr. Umar Johnson came with that bullshit. Yeah, the government said him. I'm like, my nigga, listen. Listen. So let's talk about these conspiracy theories that these niggas is talking about. All on YouTube. I thought YouTube was supposed to stop these niggas from making conspiracy videos, but they have not. They've been getting a lot of views. Is there a conspiracy theory with this, in your opinion, or is it just nigga shit?
Well, let me be clear. Conspiracies are real things, but
Yes.
not everything is a conspiracy. COINTELPRO was a conspiracy. It was real. Operation Chaos was a conspiracy. It was real. The Ghetto Informant Program was a conspiracy. It was real. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So people in this world that have power do move with conscious intent, and they look out for their own interests. Now, is everything that happens to a nigga a conspiracy? No. This is nigga shit. That's all. Single, solo, no more, no less. This is nigga shit. And here's why. Here's why I say this. There's a gentleman, if you can find him, you should probably see if you can bring him on the show because, well, I don't know. You probably wouldn't get much likes because you ain't talking about pussy and bitches and all of that shit. But if you bring him on, his name is Dr. Tyrone Powers. Dr. Tyrone Powers is a professor of counterterrorism and national security at Anne Arundel College. He was a former FBI agent and Maryland State Police officer. He blew the whistle on the FBI over some things that he didn't like that they were doing. But one of the things he said is that during the time he was at the FBI, he came across something that the FBI did. In other words, they do cultural studies on different racial groups, and they said that black people tend to be we're not a logical or analytical people. We're emotional people,
Mm-hmm.
and that our movements will have no logical conclusion to them. So in other words, black people are over emotional. Here's how you handle them when you give an interview. Do not stop them when they're marching. Do not attempt to hinder them when they're marching. Let them have their stepladder platforms, because nothing's really going to come out of all of the noise and the protest. Nothing definitive comes out of it. That was a report that he had gotten
absolutely.
from Quantico, Virginia, and I think that is largely true. But what happens is a lot of times he also said that they know that these people are not going to really do anything. Okay, everybody knows who Dr. Sebi is or who Dr. Sebi was. Okay, but do people really care? I mean, the black community is an apathetic community. We're an apathetic community. So though Dr. Sebi was talking about medication and veganism, that ain't gonna stop a nigga from eating pork. It's not like every black person is going to switch over and, get his cure or get his medicine from Dr. Sebi. That's not going to happen. Again, because our community doesn't tend to be an active community. We're an emotional community. So they may hate you. For instance, Louis Farrakhan can go to the Million Man March, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he can give a speech at the Million Man March. Now, they probably hate what he's saying, and they probably don't like what he's saying. But they know how many black people are going to join up and become members of the Nation of Islam? He can come there and give a speech, but he ain't going to give but maybe one or two members. Again, because the community is apathetic. So I say that to say Nipsey Hussle was no threat to the national security state. He was no threat to the status quo. Even making that Dr. Sebi film, that's no threat to the status quo. Because again, our people are largely apathetic. It's two things you have to overcome when you're dealing with us. That's ignorance and inertia. You understand? So that's not a reason to kill anybody. A video, I heard Tariq Nasheed say that shit. There's no conspiracy theory. It's some nigga shit. That's all it is. It's not the government. It's nigga shit. That's it. Single, no more, no less. He was no threat to the status quo. He was no threat to the system. Dr. Sebi been dead for going on, 1 or 2 years? He damn sure ain't no threat to the system. And it's not like black people were listening to him in massive numbers. I'm not saying that no black people listen to him. I'm sure there are a lot of hell, Left Eye went down there where he was, and he treated Left Eye. He treated Michael Jackson. And he treated people for AIDS and cancer and all that good stuff. I know who Dr. Sebi is, but black folks are not finna join the Dr. Sebi health plan overnight. It's not gonna happen. So where is the motive? Because it's not like Dr. Sebi was gonna change the status quo. One person never changes the status quo anyway. It's the people that make change. And there were not enough black people that were willing to follow Dr. Sebi, or much less follow Nipsey Hussle. So no, it's nigga shit.
let me do this. Let me go back and basically talk about what's the brother out of DC, Neely Fuller. He mentioned the same thing that you're saying, that they don't really care if you can say whatever you want.
Yep.
But if people are not listening, and they know people are not listening, then they'll let you keep talking. It's only when people are listening and acting on what you're saying, then that's when they gonna get involved.
Exactly.
But if they find that they nobody listen to what you're saying, they let you go and do what you gotta do.
Yeah, because they know you're gonna starve anyway. You're gonna go broke trying to save niggas and be a martyr. You ain't gonna have no quality of life worth shit, because the same niggas that's listening to you today gonna turn on you tomorrow.
What they said, the niggas are only as faithful as the last you give them.
Yes. Niggas are like Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? That's it. Don't give a shit about that.
Look, let me do this real quick. And let me shout out some of the super chat. My brother Sonetter came in here and dropped some money. Shout out to Sonetter. You guys go over there. If you haven't heard about Sonetter's channel, man, go ahead. He's one of the, one of the innovators here in Black YouTube, man. Not just just in the conscious community, but in Black YouTube period. So he really paved the way for a lot of us guys that's coming up now. Let me go ahead and man, there's really hope. My internet back, brother. I don't, this don't need to be coming so slow, brother. The white man, he got his hand internet way in Africa, brother. I don't even know what's going on with the white man today. But woo. This internet is slow. All right, let me do this while I'm doing this, Tony. And shouting out the super chats. What do you think? I mean, obviously, people were saying, "All right, the hood listen to Nipsey," and I noticed that one female said, "All right, um, Nipsey loved the hood, but the hood didn't love Nipsey."
Yeah, that's the
And
way it is.
I thought that was kind of interesting. What do you think about that?
That's what we do. We kill the instruments of our salvation. That's what we do. We killed. We either kill him or we assist others in killing the instruments of our salvation. I mean,
Give
come
me an
on. I mean,
example. Give me an example of what you're talking about.
shit, Malcolm X. Malcolm X. You know, they're quick to say, well, the white man had him done. Well, yeah, the white man put the offer out there, but you didn't have to do it, nigga. You understand?
Mhm.
It's what we do. We kill the instruments of our salvation. You
Mhm.
know, uh, he's not the first entertainer that tried to do something. He's not the first one. You know, I brought up Martin Luther King, the black woman that was actually sleeping with the motherfucker who coordinated his murder. You know, it's what we do. We will stand around and we will destroy. With the black community, any black leader, he repeats the Jesus Christ story on a consistent basis. Because any man that dares to sacrifice himself for the community, it's the community that's going to aid in his crucifixion. It's the community that's going to say, release the ratchet nigga, crucify the Savior.
So basically, the Pookie and Ray Ray is Barabbas. Barabbas.
Yes, yes,
Uh-huh.
give us Barabbas, crucify Jesus. They will do it every time. They will do it every time because again, as a race of people, we're very sensitive to criticism. We hate criticism. We want order and we want productivity and we want good shit, but we don't understand that you have to have a certain list of rules to go by. You have to have some type of foundation, structure, regulations, procedures in place for the shit to go by. Everybody has to abide by some degree of decorum in order to do it. And our people have a problem with decorum on a consistent basis. We'll do it now because we're emotional and we're in the moment. But shit, 5, 10 years later, hell, five days later, the euphoria from that shit done wore off and it's back to business as usual, nigga.
let me do this, and guys, get the likes up here on the video. You got about 25 more minutes for me, Tony.
I got all the time in the world.
All right. Again, let me start off by Big JXX. Him and George was arguing on the Rumble. Negroes believe in conspiracy theories, but education is devalued. Thank you, Miles, PhD. No conspiracy. It's not like Sebi's research with Paris with Nipsey. So why sanction that? I definitely agree. Linus, the X-Man. Sonnetter Studios with the $40. Thank you, brother Sonnetter. Kenny Conjo, I got 7 up. O'Shea, keep doing your thing. You move in a positive directions. Peace and blessings, family. Javon Smiley, build a wall, keep dumb Negroes out of ADOS 2020. Oh man. Lemon
I
Kelly,
mean,
you throw a life ring. Go ahead.
that's what we do. I mean, you. I mean, you could be tricking in a whole house in Eritrea. Niggas will say, the CIA killed O'Shea.
I know that's right. Oh my god.
They
Black man
injected
actual P show. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
they injected that girl's pussy with the HIV virus, and O'Shea had a rubber that would melt, and she gave O'Shea AIDS. They'll come up with that kind of shit. It's what they
Yeah,
do.
that definitely sounds like us. Let me go ahead on the shout out. Black men actual people. Thank you so much. Brother Terrence B. They already killed 2 of his family members. Marty Collins. I'm a lawyer in the hood. Red's a bad guy. Ben yourself. My smoke the just went up straight fire. Gregory, solid conversation. Um, Terrence B again, $7. Let me kind of go back to this. Where we are now. The Eric Holder guy. What do you think in that neighborhood? Because it looks like Nipsey. I've seen a few YouTubers from Rolling 60s is probably the biggest largest Black American gang, African American gang in South Central. So LA. Now after he is gone, and I'm talking about brother man Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
What is going to happen now in this area? Now that Nipsey Hussle is going to be gone,
Well, I mean,
all the things that he did.
yeah, well, the spot that he had is gonna dry up. Nobody gonna keep it going. If he had any family, they gonna fight over what he had left.
Oh, talk about that now. Talk about that. Talk about that. And
Yeah,
let's talk
they
about. Let's also talk about the fight they had at his memorial too. There was some bullshit
yeah,
going on there.
yeah, it's what niggas do. When you die and you leave something, your family all of a sudden, motherfuckers that you ain't heard or seen in 10 years come out of the woodwork and profess all this loyalty. And so I'm pretty sure he probably didn't have a will. And so that means his property passes intestate to his heirs and his family members. So they'll be at his funeral acting a fool. They're gonna lay him away real nice. He'll be in a real nice coffin, and he'll have a real nice funeral service, and he'll have some pastor, well known pastor, giving his eulogy, and then afterwards, his family gonna fall out, and they're gonna start fighting over what he left. That's what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna start wanting his clothes. They're gonna start wanting his shoes. They're gonna start wanting his spoons, his forks, his pool tables, all of those nigga shit.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting over what little money he had left. But they're not gonna know how to manage his estate though. And of course they're gonna steal from him too. They're gonna embezzle from the estate because that's what niggas do. And embezzle from his estate, and then he'll probably make his real money for his estate in the next 5 or 10 years when he gets the residuals and royalties coming in from his music, that type shit. You know.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this, Tony. I noticed when it comes to like let's say other cultures of people,
Mhm.
Asians. What's the for example? I'll use. And I know it's probably not a good example, but let's say China and the Communist Party that they have right now, the one party state. That party always has a new leader to step in, and run things in case the movement keeps going. This is one of the reasons why they can kill the boy in South Korea. What's the guy's name? Um,
Kim Jong,
uh,
Kim
Kim
Jong,
Jong Un.
Kim
Yeah,
Jong.
they've been
Yeah,
wanting to kill him for a long time, but if
yeah.
they assassinate him, they're not really stopping anything because somebody's going to take his place and might be even more ruthless than him.
Uh-huh.
So that's like, well, if we do that, we're not really doing it.
Yeah.
But what I notice is whenever you have in black churches or even African dictators, you have somebody like Reverend C.O. Franklin. He dies. The New Bethel's never been the same as then.
Right.
Reverend Caesar A. Clark of the Good Street Baptist Church. He dies. It was never the same after that. Gilbert E. Patterson and his church in Memphis, Tennessee. It was never the same after that. And even in certain African countries, you see Mugabe, and you see a lot of these one-party state countries, William Tubman, places like that. They're never the same. And so I'm looking at somebody like Nipsey Hussle, which even though he's not on that grand of a scale, politically or on that scale, it's the same circumstance but smaller. It's like when he leaves or dies, all the dreams die with him. Do you think this is the same situation that we're seeing with Nipsey Hussle?
I know it's the same situation we're seeing with Nipsey Hussle. I know it is because I know us, man. Very few people in his family. I'm sure there are some people that are successful, but if I were a gambling man, I would say it's very few. And I know somebody's gonna say, "Well, success is a subjective term." No, nigga. I mean, someone earning a decent amount of money. By decent, I mean above $250,000 a year. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when we get, it's hard enough as black people to get anything worthwhile. It's hard enough dealing in this society to be successful if you're black anyway. So a lot of times when we get shit, we're not used to it. We don't know how to deal with it,
Mm-hmm.
and we have this foolish assumption that we're gonna live forever. So we want to hold on. We want to be, we want to be, uh, what is the term? What's the word here? Parsimonious. I think that's the term. Parsimonious. We tend to be very frugal, stingy, niggerish about it. We want to hoard it, because we think that, you're going to take it with you. No, you can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried. It didn't work. So, We don't think about passing wealth down. You know, it's something about us where we don't think about generational wealth because we are not used to generational wealth. Hell, we're not used to present day wealth.
Mhm.
And a lot of us don't understand how to manage money. Managing money is a skill. And
Yes.
that is a skill that far too few of us know how to do. So, for instance, you may have some of us that know about annuities. You may have some of us that know about IRAs, Roth IRAs. You may have some of us that know about, you know, stocks. You may have some of us that know about CDs. But there are other things that we don't know about. We don't know about options trading. Very few of us practice options trading. Very few of us are competent in the area of estate planning. Very few of us we don't think about long-term care, what happens to us when we get old and we shitting on ourselves and stuff like that. We don't think about that. We just think about we got a pile of money. So if we got a pile of money, that's going to solve our problems. But you have to have administrators there, competent administrators, honest
Mhm.
administrators that know what to do with that money, because you
Mhm.
may not have all your senses when you get old. So we don't know how to handle money. We
Mhm.
know how to get it. When we learn how to get it, we wind up losing it because we don't know how to handle it. We don't know how to manage it. We don't. Black people, as a general rule, we don't believe in wills. Niggas ain't gonna do no wills. Are you crazy? It's not what we do.
Let me say this. So people were saying like, all right, we're pathological, making this a pathology of black people. Let me just say this. Okay, we know that
It is pathological.
it is pathological, right? Some people are
It is
saying that
pathological.
it's too pathological. You're absolutely correct. We understand that there are African Americans, hella stereotyping. There is not stereotyping. This is the truth. Okay. It's the truth in America. It's damn sure the truth in Africa. It's the truth wherever black folks are at. It's not stereotyping. It's the truth. Okay. If we were acting like we're not stereotyping, look at the numbers and see for yourself. All right. This is the truth. There's no stereotyping. This is actual facts. Now, we do understand that there are black people who do not operate like this. All
The,
right.
the Wall
So we
Street Journal
understand.
did. The Wall Street Journal and the Economist did a study of wealth. Okay, since niggas say stereotype, you see, everything that hurts you isn't necessarily a stereotype. Everybody can teach you something, even your goddamn enemy. The Wall Street Journal and the Economist magazine did a survey of wealth in the black community. And
Mhm.
they found that less than 10% in our community, less than 10% of the people in our community had a will. Less than 10% had a will. Less than 10% had any type of investment in long-term care. Less than 10% had any type of investment in any type of appreciable market. That's the Wall Street Journal. Now I know some nigga gonna say, that's the white man. Nigga, please. You know. So it's studies of this thing has been hell. Ebony has done these studies. Any black magazine, the black magazines have done this study, and they'll tell you that black people are not investing in annuities or long-term savings, and we don't make use of wills. Hell, it's a bitch trying to get a nigga to see a doctor. I mean,
Yeah.
the truth is, it just is what it is. I'm sorry if it hurt your feelings. I'm sorry if it make you feel bad. But fuck your feelings. It is what it is.
Let me shout out to the brother here. Fly Guy. Other groups are content managing investments from the shadows. As our visibility and money evolve, so should the views of world around us. Let's talk about we'll be fair to Nipsey Hussle for those people that were being unfair. I think the guy was brilliant. Do me a favor, guys, and do me a favor. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. Shout out to Dr. JJ Redwood in the building. Brothers, do me a favor and hit the like button, okay, on the video. How many times I got to ask you for some free shit? It's 756 of you brothers out there and some of you sisters. Can we get 137 of y'all to hit the like button, okay? Just to come hit the like. We asking for free shit, y'all. Don't make us pass the offer for free stuff, brothers. If you're
You
coming in
proving
here,
the stereotype.
right,
You're proving the
right.
stereotype. You sitting here arguing against the stereotype and you validating the stereotype.
They can't even like the video for free,
Can't
man.
even like the fucking video for free.
Right. Come on, black people, like the video for free. It ain't gonna hurt you nothing. Might hurt your thumbs or whatever, but if you
Well,
can
I
like
think
the
they're probably
video,
pissed off. They're probably angry and pissed off, and I get that. So, you know.
okay.
But if you can't give a nigga a free light, I'd be stupid to believe you're gonna put away 5 figures in a a retirement plan. Come on, man.
Oh man. Let me kind of talk about this because I think Nipsey Hussle though, in a way, um, he did some innovative things that have never been done before. The $100 mixtape. That was in 2013, 2014. That was very innovative. He brought a lot of unique businesses. He kind of did. I mean, I think about Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was the first person to kind of do this. What I'm about to say, and Magic Johnson made his millions for the most part off of bringing, like theaters and Starbucks and Fat Burger to neighborhoods that nobody wanted to be in because they figured there was too much crime or it wasn't enough money. Magic Johnson made a whole lot of money off of that. We see the same things in Africa where people didn't want to come to Africa and do any kind of investment at that time. And then, obviously some entrepreneurs found out that you can do that in Africa, the Chinese now and other people. Nipsey Hussle also did the same thing. He said, okay, listen, we can control the economies of black communities and do very well. His Marathon store was a smart store. It was very organized. He had a lot of people come through there. But let me talk to you about this. With this, kind of the kind of gangster rap kind of drug selling culture and illegal drugs. A lot of people say that the other groups, like the Irish, the Italians, the Jews, they were able to take their money from their dysfunction and clean their neighborhoods up. In a way, you can say that Nipsey Hussle was doing that, in Crenshaw, making money off of the fact that he was not just that, right, but part of the thing was he was a gang affiliated. He was doing some nice things. Can making money off dysfunctional black culture, can it provide opportunities for the talented people in Black America with the dysfunctional stuff that's promoted? That economy, can that economy provide opportunities for other people?
Yes, but it has to be a partnership between the dirty money and the clean money. You see, Rudolph Giuliani was a prosecutor, but he got into the DA's office off of the mob. He locked up Nicky Barnes, Guy Fisher, Nicky Barnes, and what's the other one? Guy Fisher, Nicky Barnes, and Lucas.
Frank
He,
Lucas,
he,
yeah.
he locked all of them up. He had mob ties. They all do it. And the way they do it is this. This is how they clean up their money. They clean up their money through real estate. They clean up their money. They form little private cooperatives. And that's how they clean their money up. And then they run people in the neighborhood from their communities in public office, and they support those people financially and economically through their dollar as well as their vote. So, yes, the Irish did it, the Italians did it, the Jews did it, every ethnic minority, the Cubans. If you want an excellent example of a dark skinned people that came up off of crime, no one is better than the Cubans. No one is more profound. No one is more prolific at that concept, that very concept that you're talking about, than the Cubans. They came here. They were released from the prisons, from Fidel Castro's prisons. They were criminals. The Marietta boat lift was a boat lift full of damn criminals. He emptied the Cuban jails. He emptied the penitentiaries in his country and sent them to the South Shores of Florida. Now, of course, they had government assistance, and they leave that shit out too. They didn't pull themselves up by their bootstraps. They had government assistance, and they had the hand of the state in helping them to, wash away their dirt. So it is absolutely true. Florida was maintained by cocaine money and drug money for the longest. That's why Marco Rubio can talk all that shit. That's why all the rest of those, and they got Cubans that are both Democrats and Republicans, but they tend to be largely Republican. But all of them come from drug money. All of them. Hell, George Bush comes from drug money.
Damn.
George Bush comes from illegal criminality.
Well, he was
Now
the
the son,
CIA, right? Yeah.
his son. I'm talking
His
about.
daughter,
Yeah, I'm talking about
George
the
Bush.
son. But the daddy, the daddy got the government to give him a $300 million head start, and he was still too stupid to succeed in business. So the only thing he could do other than the businessman was to be a president. He failed at business, so fuck it, let him be president. That's what happened. He couldn't be a soldier. He
300.
couldn't be a pilot. 300 million, yeah. Arbusto. He had a company down there in Houston, Texas, Arbusto, and he ran that shit into the ground. His daddy got the Saudis and those conservative Middle Eastern princes and sheiks and fiefdoms to pour money into his business, and he still couldn't win. He was too stupid to succeed, even with a government subsidy. He had a $300 million head start, and he still lost his business. So yeah, you can win, you can do it, but it requires niggas to work together. Simple. Simple. You can do it. It requires. There's a man. I think his name is Edward Frazier. He's on the on the internet, World Wide Web. He's a networking consultant. You know, he always talks about black people linking up, and they think it's just a talking point. It's common sense. You link up. You know, the Irish ran Honey. What was his name? Honey Fitzgerald. John Kennedy's granddaddy. Fitzgerald was the mayor of New York. He got there off of bootlegging, rum money. John Kennedy came from rum money. The Kennedys came from rum money. Juliana is a product of the rackets, heroin, numbers. Of course, it can be done. But in order to do it, it means we have to make sacrifices. Now, how many niggas are ready for that? That's the question. How many niggas are ready to sacrifice their egos so that the whole team wins? I don't expect that question to be answered, but that's the question.
Why do you think? I mean, I'm afraid to ask the question. Why do you think that we have that problem, Tony? You know,
because I'm gonna be honest, we ain't used to shit. We ain't used to shit. By and large, I'm not saying that every single black person. I'm not saying this for every single black person, but by and large, we ain't used to shit. You know, hell, this country is what, over 200 years old. We just got one distinctively black president.
Right.
We ain't used to shit. We ain't never had shit. We ain't used to it. If you're not used to anything, you don't understand the perils and pitfalls and responsibilities that go with it. You can only do what you see. We ain't used to it. That's why.
Let me do this. And 480 people, we're glad to have you here, guys. Can you give me some more likes? I know y'all tired of me begging, but if you're new to this channel, subscribe, hit the bell. And again, I want everybody to check out Tony's new article called "Nigga Synthesis." Okay, it's pinned to the top, right? It's on the first comment. Tony wrote an article on the Negro Manosphere. That's the site to all you brothers when you super chat. And let me tell you the purpose of brothers and why we ask for your support on the channel. When it comes to making sacrifices, I try to make a very, very big one, right? And what I try to do is when you guys support me on Patreon or support us on the Negro Manosphere, we have our own blog and we have writers that write for us. Tony Maceo, who's talking right now, we bring brothers in, Alan Roger Curry, Ron Wills. We have the Patreon. So we want to create and give a space to brothers to have conversations about black male issues that typically we would never have before. We've been building this community for about 3 to 4 years now. We have a lot of new talented content creators, you know, Stefan Cleanscales, you know, we have C Boogie and guys out there that are joining every day. But that's because we did the initial work with supporting by watching the videos, sharing the videos, and stuff like that. So, but what I also ask is we have the negromanosphere.com and we have health articles, we have free ebooks. I want you to read the article though. That's one of the investments that I'm going to ask you guys to do is to read what we have on the website. I know I haven't been promoting as much as I should have, but check out Tony Maceo's article. He's an excellent writer. Okay. And he also has a very, very good blog called powerandstrategy.com. So it's the nigga synthesis. If you go to the first comment, you'll read it. And I will say this: when you watch my shows and you watch the panels and you guys support with the super chats and all that stuff, I invest a good portion of that money so that we can have content on the site. All right, so on the blogs, and we have over 1,000 articles. We have award show every June. So, but brothers, I need you to read those articles and read those ebooks and read those stuff. Get involved. I'm going to bring back the forum. And I just really want to see you brothers reading the articles, commenting on the articles, and being subscribed to the site so that we basically can produce better content for you. So we would appreciate it if you go ahead, brother Tony.
You know what the funny thing is? Now that you mentioned it, I don't mean to cut you off, but you know what the funny thing is?
What's the funny
You know
thing?
who's actually? I don't know if this is an insult or a compliment. When you was asking them to read it, you know who's actually reading my articles?
White folks.
Some redneck white man by the name of South Texas. Some redneck white man by the name of South Texas. I get a few guys. I take that back. I get a few guys that will come there, like brother Cornelius Evans.
Edwards, yeah.
Edwards. He'll come, brother Cornelius Edwards, and Cottrell Evans. I think that's his name. He'll come there. He'll come there. But most of the feedback I get, if I get it, in the comment section, because there's two places you can leave a comment: in the Facebook and in the actual comment section. And it's a white man that's trolling me. He's a white troll. His name is South Texas. He read my shit and cut out portions of it. And he did with this article too. He did. He loved, following me and trolling me and cutting out pieces of my articles and responding to them and shit like that. So I think it's kind of crazy that the only person that will seriously read my shit is a white man.
Yeah,
in a way that's kind of prophetic.
Yeah, and we want to change that, brothers, because the thing about it is this, I believe that we need to have our own stuff in our own media, and we want to produce the content for you, brothers, and the ebooks and things. At first, we didn't have a website that talked about black male stuff, but I tell you what, the first 10 people, let's tell you what I'm gonna do. I got a twerk video from Miss Mantha Cakes TV. Okay. If we get 10 comments on Tony's news article, for those of you who are Patreon subscribers, I will post that twerk video. It's a private one. I will post it on Patreon right now, and it is some butt naked shit. All right, but I gotta get those 10 comments on there. But I'm gonna put it in. I'm trying to, Mr. C4 brother. I don't think you're on the Patreon, brother. You ain't got that $5 a month, brother. So you kind of cheap, brother. So you ain't gonna get shit. But that's for the brothers on the Patreon. So if you brothers on the Patreon, and all my people, Mr. C, brother, you don't drop no money over here, player. I hate to say it, but you're not gonna get no free shit over here, brother. So you can enjoy the show, brother. Okay, hold tap. So Patreon subscribers. Oh, you did, man? I'm just messing with you, brother. I'm just playing with you. But y'all know I'll be just joking. We can put it on Patreon, right? All right. Y'all know I'll be joking with y'all niggas, man. Nah, I'm just messing with him. He be here. I fucking with him right now. Let me ask you this. How do we handle a guy like this? The Eric Holder guy.
Well, I mean, there are ways to do it, but nothing is 100% guaranteed. But one way that I generally do it when I'm talking to them, there's a verse in the Quran that says that a smile will stop a war. And there's a biblical verse that says that a kind or gentle word turns away a wrathful person. So when you're dealing with these guys, you have to, let them know that everything is cool in the game. You have to, speak to them in a way where don't elevate your voice. Do not go into an aggressive mode. And some people say, well, that's being a bitch, or you're capitulating. Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to explain to you why you do that in just a minute. But when you deal with these guys, keep it very simple. Keep it very simple. Make sure you have to watch the words you use. You understand? And it always has to be in a manner where it's joking. You could never let it turn into something serious. You have to give it to them in a way that they can relate it, and give it to them in a way where it's not threatening to them, where they don't see it as insulting. That's one way. The next way is, a lot of times what you can do is, again, if there is someone in their circle that they respect, somebody in their circle that they listen to, you let them be your proxy. You pass the information to him and let him give it to him. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that'll keep down a lot of shit, because coming from him, it sounds different coming from him than it does coming from you. Like if one of his compatriots, one of his homeboys would have said, "Damn dog, the word out here is that you're a snitch, man. I know that ain't real, but that's what's on the streets. So what's the deal?" You see, it's different coming from, because again, they have this
Ah.
insane ass logic that says that, if you're not one of them, you're not credible. You're not uh, you're not somebody that should be listened to. In other words, if you don't participate in gang culture, you can't tell them about the effects of gang culture, because you ain't living it. You understand? So if you tell them, the dysfunctional behavior of a crackhead, they'll tell you, well, you can't talk about a crackhead because you've never been a crackhead. Now that's retarded as fuck, but that makes sense to them. You understand? So a lot of times it's about their peer group
Mm-hmm.
relaying them that information, not somebody who they want to get some shit from, or not somebody who has this. Because in a very real sense, yeah, they were from the same set, but Nipsey Russell wasn't his peer. I mean, so it's not Nipsey Russell. Nipsey Hussle
Right.
wasn't his peer. That's not his peer. That's a nigga that he's idolizing on the low, and he wants something from. That's not his peer.
Huh.
You
So
see,
because it came from Nipsey, who is way above his level.
hmm above his
That's
pay grade.
that's why I hurt his feelings so much.
Yep, it came from the nigga who he wanted to be.
Hmm.
You don't think he want that fat booty light skinned girl to fuck on every night? You don't think he want that? You don't think he want to be in that store running that business? You don't think he want that? You don't think he want to be on the red carpet and Grammy nominated? You don't think he want that? He want it, but he ain't got no talent to get it. So that insult came from a nigga that he looked up to.
Hmm.
You see, versus
Hmm.
somebody who's in the same circumstances, who's a little bit older, that come from his background, that he'll listen to. Because that nigga, he may think twice about, before he, get all greasy and pop fly. That nigga, he would be more apt to listen to somebody he respect. So a lot of times when you deal with them, you have to deal with them through somebody that they respect, or that they will listen to. You know, because again, take for instance, like if I'm on a panel with somebody, I could say something one way, an angry man can say it another, and when I say it, the shit is insulting as fuck. But when angry man say it, or they don't understand it, but when angry man say it, then it's, oh, I get it, I understand.
Hmm. Hmm.
Even though we just said the same shit, but in his mind, I wasn't qualified to say it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's not what you say or how you say it; it's who said it or who's saying it.
Hmm. Or who
And the
who is
third
credible?
option,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
who's credible enough to say it. That's
Who's
right.
credible enough to say it? Okay.
Or the third instance is, if you don't give a fuck, you're gonna have a nigga moment. You understand? Because he ain't gonna back down. He don't know how to control his emotions. And if you escalating it, it's gonna be a nigga moment. It's gonna be a complete disaster. So if you come across this nigga, if it's probably wiser if you come across a nigga just like this, smile at him, say what you gotta say, and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Let him say whatever he want to say. Let him call you whatever he want to call you, but let them walk away. Because if an encounter develops as a result of that, somebody's going to end up seriously injured or dead. That's the nigga moment waiting to happen. Because again, he rationalizes, this type of nigga rationalizes everything with combat. He wins an argument by winning a fist fight. In his mind, he won an argument. So if you're not ready to take it to that nth degree, to the nth degree where somebody could end up dead or in prison, smile at him, say what you got to say, smile at him, let him get off his little distance and just get out of the area. Slowly back out of the area, smile at him, throw up the deuces, chuck up the deuces, and just be out.
Let me talk about.
Let him have his nigga victory. Let him have his nigga victory.
A nigga victory.
Yeah.
What is a nigga victory?
Well, let him feel like he got over, like his balls are bigger, because that's what it's gonna become. It's gonna become a ball rubbing and a dick swinging contest. So he need to feel as though he got the best of you. Because this is a nigga whose ego is distorted, his personality is fucked up, his ego is distorted. It's easy to wound his pride. So what you have to do a lot of times, you have to chuck up the deuces and smile and say, okay, dog, just go on about your business. You damn right, nigga, better get out my face, bitch ass nigga. You have to let that slide and go on about your business. Unless he's attacking you, now you got to defend yourself. But a lot of times, it's just better just go on about your business. Let him say whatever it is he gonna say. Just get on out the area as soon as possible. Because this nigga is highly irrational. He's highly unstable. Just get on out of the area.
Let me shout out to our business. Much respects, brothers O'Shea and Tony Maceo. So we're gonna go on about 10 more minutes. We hope you brothers, listen to this last part of the game. I'm gonna shout out to the super chats, because we don't want you brothers, because this may happen at any point in time, in situations you may not be able to control, and so we want you brothers to really understand this, because just because you think you have it all, there's a nigga that can take you out, man. I like a lot of times. Let me say this real quick, Tony. One of the most easiest ways that this happens to somebody that don't know you. I've seen situations escalate. You in the club, bump into somebody, the person spilled a drink, you step in your shoe, something like that. That's the most easiest way. If I ever do that, I'm immediately trying to de-escalate it. Like, look, especially if it's my fault, hey brother, I'm sorry, man. Let me get you another drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. Put your hands up. Look, I let him in a non-threatening manner. Look, sorry about that, bro. My bad.
Right. Right.
Immediately, because it's certain bodily cues. When he starts angling off against you, when his voice is elevated, he starts angling off against you. He finna get ready to bomb on you.
Right.
You understand? Or he come back with some shit like, "Well, nigga, that don't get me another drink. Excuse me, don't get me another drink, bitch." You understand? So he's declared war. Right. So you gotta again, he want a nigga victory.
Right.
You gotta squash that right away.
Right. And it don't make you no bitch, right? And the thing I understand about dealing with black men, if you make a mistake, even if you show that you're trying to be respectful, a lot of black men, even the ones that's crazy, a lot of black men want some respect. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you show them that you got, brother, I'm sorry, man, about that. What can I do to fix it? Almost certainly all the dudes is gonna be like, okay, well let's settle it. Things happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you might even make a friend out of the situation. You know what I mean?
It's possible.
It's possible. Yeah.
You got to keep in mind that a lot of times a nigga like that, he ain't got nothing to lose.
Right.
He ain't got nothing to lose, whereas you got some shit to lose. The most dangerous nigga in the world is a nigga with nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. So, and that's the thing we try to get you brothers, man, out here, because some of you brothers, you don't work with or live around these people, but for whatever reason, you can come across any kind of person like this. Sometimes, a lot of these people, let's talk about a little bit different, right? Because I know this is not about just Eric Holder, but what I've seen is the emergence of white emotional people on the internet going off on black people. Like you saw the white guy that beat this black lady. Um, now it's probably not as likely to happen, but how do you handle situations if it's a person of another race? White person, you know, uh, non-black person. What do you do in that point?
Well, I mean, you can try the same tactic, but a lot of times when you're dealing with, and I wrote an article on this, shameless plug, I know, why black men need to study martial arts. Because I said you're going to be stuck between a nigga like Eric Holder and some random redneck, you know, who don't think that you have a right to exist. Sometimes when you're dealing with people like that, when you're dealing with those white people, let's say Elliot Rodger or George Sodini, I'm stripping the context of why he did what he did. I'm just saying he was a sick motherfucker. But when you come across people like this, the only thing you can do a lot of times with them is to just not exist. For whatever their personal reason, whatever their demons are, the only thing that will mediate the situation is for you to be dead. So in those instances, you can try diplomacy. You can try diplomacy, but they may take that as a license to violate you because they got that nasty ass white chauvinism and arrogance and superiority complex in the first place. So they take that, the ones that are really sick will take that as a license to try to humiliate you and rob you of your dignity. So a lot of times you may have to defend yourself. A lot of times you may be able to back off and say, look, it ain't even that deep. But somebody that's like with that old lady, the guy that was kicking that old lady in the face,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to be able to talk logic to him. You just have to whoop his ass. You understand? You got to whoop his ass and take the case. I had for instance, my teacher, my soke, my sensei was in a bar, I think a couple of years ago, and he's a black guy. He's black, and he was down there with some of his friends who were white, and they were just sitting at the bar chilling. And so some white guys that were drunk, and of course they got that loose courage, and so one thing led to another, and I think they grabbed him by his slacks and put him. He asked him, to leave him alone, and he told him, he said, "Look, you don't want to deal with me. You don't want just go about your business." And they wouldn't go away. And he beat like three of their asses, I think, when they came to court because they filed charges against him. He caught a felonious assault charge, and their arms and shit was in a sling. Their eyes were swollen. They had bandages wrapped around their head. I think he dislocated their shoulders, broke a couple of their legs. I mean, he really fucked them up. And he went to court over that, and the judge gave him a suspended or deferred sentence. In other words, he said, "Well, you were defending yourself," but he was beating their asses so bad that they started to run away. He was fucking them up, and so they started running. And so, from his perspective, he didn't know if they were running to their car to get a weapon or what. So he just followed behind them and fucked them up. I mean, just mopped them up. So he left no doubt that he was going home that night, but he had to pay for it when he got to the court. And the judge said, "Well, you are a martial artist. You're a 10th degree black belt. When they were running away, that was a sign that the conflict was over."
Right.
And he was trying to explain to him, he's like, "I don't know if that guy's going to get a weapon or what. I had to finish him off right then and there." So he wound up getting a deferred sentence. So long story short, sometimes you got to whoop their ass. Them white folks that's like that, that's sick, you have to whoop their ass. You have to.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. Yeah, well, let me do this. Shout out to Mr. C, man. I was just fucking around with you, man. That's a good brother right there. He's always supporting the show. Shout out to I see George argue with Charles Merchant. George argue with Big JX every show. George and Charles Merchant be going. I don't see the chat all the time, but
George
I'm
in the
looking at
chat
it
room.
right. Yeah, he in the chat room, man.
Yeah, that's another one. I feel
Yeah,
sorry for the nigga that turned him around in the bar. But yeah.
Oh man.
But for the
So
most part, what you want to do is different folks, same strokes. But with white folks, it's a little different because they already have that nasty idea of superiority and bigotry and racism in their head in the first place. So they're going to try to rob you of your humanity because they know that a lot of times they get the benefit of the stereotype of the black male animal or beast, even when they're in the wrong. See, the only way a nigga can show he's innocent is to be dead. Now, if a white man, if he killed you and you died, then that's when you innocent. But if he killed you, if he came to you and you beat his ass, well, no, you could have done this, you could have done that, you had other options. You know, it's a catch-22 situation. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So you might as well stay above ground and whoop their asses.
No, I know that's right. I know that's right. So let me do this, guys. So again, brothers, I'm trying to do a whole bunch of things and demons and messaging me and shit. So guys, let me shout out the super chats, and I really thank you guys for Professor Tony, man. Netter was in here. I wouldn't be surprised, man. Netter was in here feeling what you were saying. Shout out to Netter. He was in here for a long time listening to this. And let's give Tony a plug, man, on powerandstrategy.com. That blog. I'll shout out the super chats here in just a moment. Tony, you are an excellent writer. You're an articulate speaker, but the writing is also eloquent too, my brother. Let's talk to the people, man, about your excellent blog and your excellent writing that you do on the Black Juggernaut, man. Like I said, you're probably one of the most talented writers, or don't let Alan Roger Curry hear it, but maybe the most talented writer in the Black manosphere today. Let's talk about some of the things you talk about on powerandstrategy.com.
Okay. Well, I mean, a lot of stuff I talk about are lessons. I think that history has a place in society. It's a teacher. Doesn't mean you want to live there. Doesn't mean you can't accept reality. I think history is a teacher. I think history has something to teach everybody. I think that those people that don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. The saying is true. So on my site, I talk about politics. I even got an article on there when it's cheaper to trick. That's got the highest views. No accident there. I was, the Boyce Watkins Maria Lloyd lawsuit when it's cheaper to trick. And I mostly talk about politics, history, economics, culture, strategy, social commentary. Much of the same stuff that I talk about on the Negro Manosphere. I've always been a student of history. I've always been, especially African history, Asian history, American history, world history. So I think that there are some lessons that can benefit us here in the 21st century that are relevant to us, because history is not a dead thing; it's something that's living. So I think we can stand to learn a lot from those that went before us. White people respect their teachers. You'll see the hall. Look at how white people treat their trendsetters. Look at how they treat their forefathers. Look at the reverence that's given to some old over the hill rock band like the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
today niggas barely mention the Barcades. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And when you say, let's say Stevie Wonder, most of these niggas be like, Stevie who?
Oh yeah.
You understand?
Exactly.
So, they appreciate, and they go, and white people are so cold with it, they will come and soak up game from, your pioneers. They will come and sit at the feet from your pioneers, take the game from your pioneers, take it back to corporate America and cash and make a mint off of it. Meanwhile, to you, they just some old nigga that was popping back in the day. You understand? So
right.
The stuff that's on my blog has to do with respecting our culture, respecting a healthy respect for history, and really it's about thinking for yourself. Because on that, I go in on the Democrats, I go in on the Republicans, I go in on everybody. I think that people should be real independent thinkers, not conservative slash right wing slash Republican light thinkers. I think you should be independent thinkers. I think people should think for themselves. So my articles follow that line, you know, that line. I use history as my tool to cross examine the present day narrative.
Hmm.
So that's what you'll see on the Negro Manosphere. That's what you'll see on powerandstrategy.com.
And again, Tony is an excellent guest. As you can hear, right? He's, probably one. And I wouldn't even call him underrated because, when I bring him on the last few times, we got a lot of views depending on the topic. Niggas speak to almost anything. That's what I like about Tony. We can go from anything to from tricking to post colonial African colonization.
Yeah.
He's there's nothing that he can't talk about, which is really unique in this particular sector. And Felicia Garcia, she said, "Hey, hi to me. Thanks. Make a woman's fair show." She said Felicia Garcia came over here, right? And she says, "I wish there was a channel like this for women." And I hear this all the time when I see female guests who come in here and they hear how we are able to talk so deeply about certain issues when it comes to Black men. Why do you think there's so many women coming in this particular sector now than before? Because the content really hasn't changed so much. Why do you think? Well, it's more broader. I would say that. Why do we see so many women coming in into the chat rooms and to this space of YouTube when talking about Black male issues now than before? Why do you think that's the case?
Because now we're starting to win. Now we're starting to carve out. Females respect power. Always have, always will. They're always going to follow power. They're always going to follow status or influence. And with the exception of Tommy Sotomayor and maybe a few others, people are here because they know what we got over here. The females are over here because they respect what we have over here. You could hear anybody, like I said, the range is diverse. You could hear everybody from George Macon to Alan Roger Curry to Super Sly to what's the other brother, E. Dean Cole to what's the Andre Hatchett.
Right.
What's the other brother that you had on here that's the economic guru, the financial guru?
Black Heights.
Black Heights and the Dr. Kenya, I forget what his name is, but
Kenya Meadows, MD.
Yep, you've had him. This is a diverse tactic. This is the digital version of Ebony Magazine. This is the digital version of the old Black newspapers. You can come here and get hell, O'Shea, you have twerkers, you have ratchets on this channel. You see what I'm saying? You have a slice of every piece of Black life here, and it's popping. You look, you see these hangouts you do. You see the number of people at these hangouts. Everybody's here. Hell, their favorite female YouTubers come here. You have that old big fine red girl Nicole Michelle. I got 75 for her, but anyway, you got. You got Nicole Michelle over here. You got Kendra D come over here. Nyla comes over here. Everybody, your favorite YouTuber, your favorite female YouTuber comes here. And this is a thing that's well known. Hell, you got white people come over here. So women are going to gravitate to any place that's the spot. It's just
Paris
like when
Milan.
you go,
She be over
Paris
here
Milan.
too.
Yep, Paris Milan be over here. So you have people are always going to gravitate to the spot. They're always going to gravitate to hot shit. And the Negro Manosphere is hot shit. You're leading with Alan Roger Curry. You have Alexander Moroz. You have V. I think that's his name. V. And you have all these columnists. You also have African writers and bloggers. You see, people respect shit that's hot. Niggas, it take us a while to catch up to you now. You got to give us a fair share of niggadry first.
Right.
You got to cuss us out. Yeah,
Right.
you got to cuss us out. You got to time us out. You got to put us to the wall. You got to throw us out a couple of times. Then we take you seriously, because if you can throw us out, that means you special.
Right. You definitely got to cuss these niggas out. Definitely.
Yeah, you got to cuss these niggas out. So it's like having VIP club privileges. Coming in here is like coming to the club. It's like coming behind that rope.
Right, right. So let me do this, brothers. I am now going to post. Shout out to Mr. C because he now I'm gonna hope y'all gonna give me them 10 comments on the article, right? But this is what we gonna do. We gonna put that twerking in hold on a second. Let me see here. We gonna put that twerking, brother, on the system here. All right. All right. So listen, I didn't put it up there. Okay. So y'all now last time I brought her on here, some of y'all went and tricked off on a video from her. So but I did post it over there. So now some of y'all is married. Okay. So we don't want you brothers to see that, but it's on there, 30 something seconds. All right. So go ahead on and check that out.
Them the
Okay.
ones that's gonna be in her mailbox.
Yeah. It's a lot of that going on. So, but you got to be on the Patreon though. $5 a month pledge. Okay, that's what I'm gonna start doing every month or 2 weeks. I'm gonna throw one of them twerk. Get one of you brothers one of them twerk videos for the free, just for the $5. Okay, I don't worry about it. I'm gonna do it myself. Okay, I'm gonna order one of them. Boom. Okay, and so it's on there. Go to the Patreon, check it out. Okay, go ahead on and you see that and make sure you get if you like that, I'm gonna get some more stuff from her. But I'm gonna start to call it Booty Clapping Tuesdays. Okay, so let me do that. Sanjada Reborn, peace, brothers. Keep doing what you're doing. Kenny Conjo, O'Shea, you have the creative mind to actually do that. Respect the panel guests you choose to. Thank you. St. Everest, my parents made me into emotional massages. We have to do a show about it. I was once an emotional symptom no more. You gotta take your medicine first, brother. Our business. Much respect, brothers. Tony Maceo, Kirkwood, gotta drop some cheese off of this. Great info from Tony Maceo and Austin, great from O'Shea. Antoine Wade, Team Maceo and O'Shea, stabbing egos and pride with the truth. The Passion Brothers, peace to the guys, RIP, Nip, Joe Lewis, Alabama, showing love. Thank you, Alabama. Intense fit way. Truth cuts deep and emotional people. Roy B, hit the like button for free. Jesus paid it all. Fly Drive, other groups are content management investors from the shadows. As our availability and money evolve, so should the views around us. Wayman Brown, $1. Thank you. Big to XX. Negroes believe in conspiracy theories because education is devalued. So again, I thank everybody for the support. I'm gonna do another call-in show. Me and LAR. Make sure you subscribe. Go look at the article, right? In the first comment, negromanosphere.com. Go look at it in the first comment. It's the nigga synthesis article. You gotta read that one. All right. Let's see what we got here. How many comments do we have on the nigga synthesis article? Let me check, Tony. Let's see what we got here. Nigga synthesis. We have 3 comments. Oh, South Texas talking shit.
Yeah, that's the redneck troll.
All right. He's always on there, huh?
He's always on. If I post anything having to do with the subject of race, he's the first one to pop up there. He's the first one. And usually you'll see some of the other brothers comment, but they'll be usually in the Facebook section. So, my man, the Fat Mac, told me I was skating uphill trying to get these niggas to read. I was skating uphill trying to get them to read. He said, they're more apt to listen to a podcast or a hangout than they will be to read an article. But writing is a form of creative expression for me.
Okay.
And it's something that I love doing. So I mean, it's just what it is. If you read it, you read it. If you don't, you don't. I just keep blogging. So it's just what I do.
Okay. So again, I really thank you, brother Tony, for coming on, and I appreciate you. Anything else you want to tell the brothers? I'll find a way to put that thing up there, guys. Anything else that you want to tell the brothers today?
Well, I mean, subscribe to the website if you're so inclined, powerandstrategy.com. Do not go to the YouTube channel because I ain't putting up shit there. I haven't mastered YouTube like that. If you want YouTube podcast, Max City Limits podcast.com. In fact, me and my brother are overdue for another podcast. We are well overdue for another podcast. If you want to hear a podcast, but on there we talk about a lot of nigga shit on there, tricking and all that old good shit. Hood bitches, all that old good shit. Go to maxcity.com, maxcity.com, podcast. MaxCity.com, Max City Limits Podcast on YouTube. Max City Limits Podcast on YouTube. Go there if you want a podcast. If you want the other shit, 40% less niggardry. 40% less niggardry. Powerandstrategy.com. You have any questions, you can reach out to me by email, wayofstrategy44@gmail.com. That is wayofstrategy44@gmail.com. If you want to support me, PayPal, wayofstrategy44@gmail.com, wayofstrategy44@gmail.com for PayPal, Patreon, Power of Strategies on Patreon. And hey, check me out on Tuesday if you're so inclined. If not, fuck it, I'm still gonna write. I love writing for the Negro Manosphere because what we're building here is something special. The Negro Manosphere is going to take over the universe. We have taken over the universe. So it is what this means. I know some of you niggas don't understand this, but this is our ebony. This is our men's life. This is, our Max magazine here. This is our little space. This is our corner of the world from which we dispense information. This is our corner of the world from which we have a voice and we tell our own story, and that's important. So that needs to be supported. And so because I'm given that opportunity, I said it once before, I say it again. Jesus paid it all on the cross, but O'Shea pays it all ahead of time at the beginning of the month. Thank God, because my rent is due. O'Shea pays it all ahead of time. So
Right.
he shouldn't be begging you niggas for no likes. He shouldn't have to beg. The least you can do is like that goddamn video. That's the least you can do for a nigga that pays it all ahead of time. The
Right.
least you can do is like the video.
Right.
Support the Negro Manosphere. Whatever individual black male YouTuber you like, I may not agree with them, but hell, go support them too. And that's about it for me.
Right. And that's one thing too. Even Alan, he has to message me and say, brother, please don't pay me right now because I'm not writing this month. But the black, I will tell you this, man, when you have responsibility, because these brothers, they come through and they invest in the content. And the least that I can do is hold my end of the deal up, which is if you pledge on Patreon and you pledging on the Negro Manosphere. And even what I'm doing in Africa, although it's not necessarily directly related to black men, I saw some brothers here, and it's basically moving the manosphere market out into different places so that we can able to do more things and able to do stuff. So when the brothers donate their money to the streams or to the Patreon, not only do I invest the money in, we have a video by Solo TV 84 right now. Rom dropped another one, and then tomorrow we have About That Business segment on Patreon with Rom Wills. So, guys, I try to invest back into the community, like, very similar to what Nipsey Hussle, did. So, and because the reason why I do that is, number one, we need it, right? It's one thing to make money off of YouTube and just enjoy it, but then, if we don't put money into having our own stuff, our own blogs, our own things, we have to open up the doors for brothers to get into those things, because we need writers, right? I tell people all the time. If you look at what's the brother over there, Very Smart Brothers, Damon Young, he's an excellent writer. But when you don't have the economy for people to want to write for black male issues, and you complain about them writing for the Democrats or writing for feminists, or when black men, well, they can't get no money with us, right? So because they can't get no money in us, they go to the other side, and then you be calling them simps and you call them all of this stuff. But this is the problem. We have to create the economy for brothers to produce content for us. All right. Now we have brothers like Wayman Brown coming in. Tony Maceo, I was able to find him like 2 years ago when I was in Africa. Now he's been in the we're opening doors for brothers to want to produce this sort of content. And it's even so popular now that even the white manosphere realizes it. All right. White guys realize it. And I will tell you this. Some of them may be interested in this market because they see that the brothers are supporting it. And it doesn't take a lot to support what we're doing. If you don't have no money, you can share the video, you can come in and comment and get to know some of the other brothers. So the thing is, we have to produce our own stuff because white men ain't gonna do it. Black women got their own stuff already. They're leaps and bounds ahead of us. So we need to get into the point where we have our own shows, our own podcasts, our own conferences, our own business gatherings, our own things. And when we have that, politically, then we're able to. My goal is for 2028, by 2028, to have a black male agenda to whoever the presidential candidates of in the United States. That's what I want. That we can be that somebody will get on the platform and say, okay, this is what these brothers want. We want to do this. But you can't do that if you don't even have a goddamn blog up, if you don't even have a motherfucking forum up, if you don't have anything up that's regarding black men, media, or anything like that, you can't move you can't do nothing. Right? So you have a $600 billion spending power, but it can't do nothing because it's all going somewhere else. So we try to get you brothers to understand it. That's why when you brothers support the show, I put the money back into stuff for us so we can bring more people in. The guys who from every walks of life, the guys, the Pookies and the Ray Rays, or the medical doctors, they all come in here because they know that, okay, if I come over to O'Shea's channel, all right, I know that I can sell a book, or I can make a network, or I can do something. This is why even Erica Williams comes over here. Go ahead, brother.
Come on. You got Alan Roger Curry. He goes to the 21 convention. Alan Roger Curry goes to the 21 convention. So you have people here that have legitimacy in that world. And we have him here. Alan Roger Curry could easily say, fuck you niggas, and gone over there, and I think he would be just as big as Roosh V or Paul Carrick Brunt and any of the rest of the motherfuckers. But he's here. Right. He's here. You got the guy here with his ball rubbing ass. But you got him here. Is he in the chat room?
No, he's not in the chat room, but he would love to hear you say that though.
All right. I'm gonna shoot that damn dog of his. But anyway. Right. We got the guy, and we got Rom Wills. We got Alan Roger Curry. We got Rom Wills. We got the brothers in Africa that are writing. Hell, Wody Maya even come through here from time to time. What does that tell you? Yeah. So we got it all. This is the place where your YouTubers come to. This is where they come to be on Hangouts. Niggas slit each other's throat to be on the Sunday Rumble panels. Are you kidding?
Right.
You got niggas climbing over themselves to get on the Sunday Rumble panel. And we're good if we got a space for ABL's ass. We even got a place for him.
Yeah, he be here too. So, and that's what I'm saying. For you brothers out there, we thank you for supporting us, right? Because we're able to, just with your support, we're able to make. Sometimes we got to think about the other brothers that's coming that we don't know. Open up a door for a brother, and leaving him in a nice position so that another brother can come in and contribute to the platform in their own different skill sets. Now we got guys like Andre Hatchett. We got guys that talking about finance. We got other guys that can come in now. They can do all aspects. Guys that are truckers. So we thank you, brothers, for all your support. Tell people about us.
This is the real beta male revolution. This is the real beta male revolution.
Let me ask you this, to T. Kelly. Did you see the stream I was with Wody Maya and Miss Trudy? Who saw me in Kenya with them on the live stream? T. Kelly, did you see that? I spent the night over there at the flat that they were staying over, our apartment in Nairobi. Did you see me on their live stream? This was about 2 weeks ago when he was in Kenya. Because whenever I'm in Africa, if he's in Africa, we always hook up. So shout out to Miss Trudy over in Kenya. And so T. Kelly, did you see that? You saw that? You saw that, DJ Mozzie? Yeah, man, I'll be getting around, man. I'm an international player, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll be doing everything, brother. But anyways, shout out to you, brother Tony. You saw me over there? All right. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I did see you. Briefly, okay. But I saw you.
Yeah, I had I was doing my thing. He's, come on, O'Shea, get into the video. I was all right. So anyways, Tony, man, thank you so much. Let me go ahead on and thank you for coming. Let me go ahead on and get my PayPal ready, brother. And thank you again, brother, for coming on and sharing that knowledge, man, because you really broke it down in ways that I wasn't even thinking of. I know it's true, but I wasn't able to really put it together like that, brother. So thank you again for coming on, and we'll see you again next time, brother.
All right, thank you for having me, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
White man hold me back.